It is yet another episode. My name is Daniel Leinhardt. Welcome back on this podcast. Once again, we are going to discuss 5 things that most influencers are not talking about Fetch AI. Fetch AI is, yes, an amazing cryptocurrency, but there are so many things that influencers have come out to speak about Fetch that are not actually right. And in the end of the day, they are making so many people do various poor investment decisions because of misinformation that is happening right now everywhere. When you look at YouTube videos, when you look at X tweets, when you look at various websites, what they are writing and speaking about Fetch AI, most of this information is actually not true. Look at how people are over hyping Fetch AI. I think Fetch AI is sometimes overhyped. And with this kind of information being put out there, so many crypto investors are making investment branders, because information put out there is simply overhyped. There are some people that are promoting uh, this technology, and it is actually being promoted in a very, very wrong way. So they are promising a lot of things that Fetch AI itself is not going to do. They are promising a lot of things that Fetch AI itself is not going to construct, or it is not actually even planning to develop them. But you find so many influencers putting out a lot of information about Fetch when they are actually not going to do anything. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us all to agree that crypto, AI tokens, Fetch itself, they are still very, very risky. And there are still so many chances of us losing our money, especially if we invest in anyhowly, not really focusing on how much are we putting there, how much research have we done in this particular cryptocurrency. Crypto is still very, 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 very risky. So overhyped returns that are really being promised over Fetch AI have made so many people do branders, invest hugely in Fetch AI, and at the end of the day, it's not doing anything in return. When you look at so many tweets and videos promising Fetch returns, trying to compare Fetch and Ethereum, especially in terms of prices, I don't think it's right. Personally, I think Fetch is an amazing cryptocurrency. It is still good. It is amazing. It has a bright future. But in terms of growth and prices, it cannot be compared to Ethereum. But I still think that Fetch still has a bright future in terms of developments, in terms of technology, in terms of infrastructures. It is developing, and it will develop a lot of amazing infrastructures. But when it comes to price adoption, Ethereum is really very, very high, and you cannot compare these two cryptocurrencies. So I think overhyped returns about Fetch AI from various influencers come from YouTubers, bloggers, podcasters, Twitters, people on X. It is really overhyped. And when you look at it, you may think that Fetch is going to bring tremendous returns that have never happened before in crypto, which is really, really very, very wrong. There are so many lack of transparencies when it comes to Fetch AI, in my own opinion. And I think this is also something that is misleading a lot of investors, and also influencers are not really pointing out how untransparent Fetch is, because it is a new project and not much of its information is out there for the public to digest, to understand, to make research about, to read about. You know, not much information about Fetch is actually out there. It is still new. It started in 2018. So it is still relatively a new cryptocurrency when you compare it with cryptos that started in 2014. or 2013 or 2015. There are so many cryptos here that we started with in early 2016. So Fetch is relatively a new cryptocurrency project. So the financial details are actually not public. So it is not easy for investors to know how much is worth Fetch company. How much is worth Fetch company? How much is their net worth as Fetch enterprise? How much is how wealthy is it? Are there advisors? Are there board members? How much money is in treasury to maintain Fetch operations? How much is Fetch making to keep operations running? Are they going broke? Are they going bankrupt? We don't know this kind of information. So I still think that influencers have not really come up to raise these all issues in regarding to Fetch, and it could be really a little bit risky investing in something you do not know how strong it is. Okay, if you are an investor in Fetch, do you have this kind of information? Do you know how much worth Fetch operators are holding, and how much money is in reserve to do all the operations and all that? Maybe it is something that actually Fetch should look at and make it transparent, be transparent to investors, and also influencers be transparent to investors and explain to them what is happening at Fetch. It is also a point of discussion to understand whether Fetch token is registered as a securities. Is it actually registered as a securities, or it is not? Because if it is not, then there is a very, very big risk. We've seen various cryptocurrencies coming on board and then exiting a few months later, killing thousands and thousands of US dollars of investors, of course, and there is no regulatory bodies and laws, and because they are not registered, so regulatory bodies cannot actually even be involved in those kind of cases. So is Fetch AI registered as a securities, or it is actually not? Let's look at various regulatory warnings. Is Fetch falling into those regulatory warnings? When you look at their wordings and all that, does Fetch fall there? Of course, most cryptocurrency token fall under regulatory warnings. They've warned people against them because at the end of the day, they are so uncertain. At the end of the day, these all tokens are so uncertain. So there is always a risk of you investing in crypto. There's always a risk, and they have been a risk. Personally, I think there's a crypto that I invested in when we were about to get off lockdown. Was it called Graph token? I think it's the only token that I invested in at 0.6 US dollars and sold at around 1.5 US dollars and made some profits. I think from like $200 to $600. And I was like, wow, crypto does make money. Crypto does make money. But all the other tokens, it was always losses. So it is really important to understand the risks and the importance of registering a cryptocurrency token as a securities. And before investing in it, to try to understand if it is actually registered. Because crypto, at the end of the day, it is highly risky compared to what influencers and crypto founders speak about their cryptos. There is a conflict of interests when it comes to influencers promoting crypto. Have you noticed that so many crypto influencers are actually they do hold financial stakes in these cryptocurrencies? Do you know that most people promoting Fetch AI actually hold a financial stake at Fetch? So you'll find Daniel making amazing videos about Fetch, writing amazing articles about Fetch, speculating on X about Fetch, but actually, I'm simply promoting my own asset that I'm holding deeply into. I'm holding a lot of Fetch. So it is actually my responsibility to make videos about Fetch and, try to see positivity increasing every single day. So you might be following a particular influencer talking about Fetch AI or any other altcoin, by the way, but when they actually own a financial stake in that particular token. So, what do you expect of them? What do you think they would be speaking about that particular token? So, it is a complex space where influencers have their own interests and also investors are actually trying to search their interests. So, you are falling into my own interests and you think it is true, it is real, that's the thing that you should be investing in. That's why at the end of these videos or at the start of these videos, we are like, you guys, this is not financial advice. This is just made for education purposes and also entertainment to pass your time to try to understand and digest. But it is not basically financial advice because most people speak about certain cryptocurrencies and tokens when they are actually stakeholders, when they hold those tokens in printing. So if you find an influencer that gets thousands and thousands of views, in most cases it is either a paid gig or actually trying to create positivity about their own assets that they are holding because at the end of the day they also want positive returns. So, in the idea of getting views and following, also, you find some influencers making crazy videos and tweets and speculating about how amazing Fetch can be and all that because it is the trending token at that particular moment. When you make a video about it, it is going to spark up and get into thousands and thousands of views. So you find people making speculations about a certain cryptocurrency, let's say Solana or Ethereum or Render, because it is the token that when you make videos about it or articles about it, they actually go viral and you make money at the end of the day. So conflicts of interests among these influencers, it is really a very, very important point to point out if you're speaking about influencers misinforming investors around the globe. You will find out that most influencers or writers do not actually also do they lack due diligence before making these videos, writing these articles, or actually speculating on X. So lack of research and understanding have made so many investors do poor investment decisions. So you find out so many unresearched articles, read them. You find so many unresearched videos, watch them. You find so many speculative tweets, you read them, and they influence you to make a particular decision. Apparently, I made a podcast previously and I was talking about Fetch price, why it has been stunted for all this long. Fetch in 2018, it was around zero point 0.4. Even right now, it is still at zero point 0.4. The only time it grew, was it last year? Was it 2021? What was it? I'm forgetting the year. I think it was last year around March when it grew to 3.2 US dollars, all time high. And everybody was like, wow, this is the next Solana. This is the next Ethereum. And right now, it is still zero point 0.4. So, where is the massive impulsive growth? However, it is a fact that Fetch is trying its best to build infrastructures. Fetch is trying its best to bring developers on board to develop on its network. It is trying to coordinate, make partnerships with various companies in order to grow Fetch Enterprise into a huge thing. But there's some things that are actually still not happening, and I'm like, why isn't this hard work reflecting in money value for all these years? And I'm like, okay, maybe good things take time. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is sponsored by Brandy Digital. Brandy Digital is a UK-based company that does hosting, website development, website marketing, and if you have any idea to do with the blockchain, to do with AI, to do with e-commerce, to do with your personal website, they will develop it. They will market it into thousands and thousands of customers. They will also do website hosting and website maintenance. Why not contact Brandy Digital for your website solutions? You can also email dev@brandydigital.com and enjoy all the benefits. My name is Daniel Leinhardt, and this is the Daniel Leinhardt Podcast. We discuss crypto, finance, and also blockchain. Keep it right here. Thank you for listening. For wherever you're listening from on all audio streaming platforms, and if you're also watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please do subscribe everywhere.